So, you know what's funny? With everything that's going on, right? Um, we're watching, we're watching basically Trump turn into all his predecessors, right? He's turning into all the presidents he was talking about, right? Talked about Bush, Obama, you know what I mean? And he's borderline there, right? He's he's thinking about getting us into another long conflict in the Middle East over some lies told by Bibi again, right? Because Iran is this close, and they've been this close since I don't know, way before anybody was paying attention. I'm pretty sure way before I was paying attention, right? So everything that Trump ran on, everything that we assume that he actually stood for. I mean, because you've been saying the same thing for years and years and years about how they got us into wars and how there would be when you got in, how there would be no new wars, right? Because you're a master of negotiations. You know how to sit down and actually talk to people, right? So there would be no need for any new wars, right? Um, but it seems like just like every other president, besides the one, right? I think that Kennedy was the only one who didn't compromise, and like I said, or like it's known, we know what happened to him, right? He set the example for every other president, right? You fall in line, or you get assassinated. And I guess Trump, with those two attempts, you know, even though it comes out, according to Benjamin and his Israeli intelligence, you know, um, that Iran was supposedly behind those two attempts on Trump. I seriously doubt that, but whatever. Um, Pretty sure everybody seriously doubt that, but whatever. You know what I mean? So I feel like Israel started this war to get us involved. I don't feel they want peace. I know I'm saying they a lot, but Benjamin is I guess he would be the Israeli representation. So he doesn't want peace. He doesn't want peace in the Middle East. He doesn't want peace with Iran. He doesn't want peace with Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria, Lebanon. He doesn't want peace with anybody, right? His plan is to expand his territory, for a greater Israel. And it's probably just my thinking, but I think if he's successful in his mission and they were to expand and get and gain all the territory they want, they would have no use for America. And I'm thinking to myself, what would stop them from collapsing America, right? I mean, because with all of this tension and all of these wars, they're basically collapsing our economy already, right? So if Israel is to build itself to the power it wants to be, because that's what it wants to be, the world superpower. Um, what stops them from stepping on us after they get everything that they want? Right? Because my thing is, like I always say, they're hiding behind Judaism and being Jewish. But most of the people in Israel right now are not Semitic. I guess that's a bigger conversation than what we're willing to have because those people are not Semitic. Most of those people are from somewhere in Europe. I would say. I guess right. Some kind of European, right? Even Netanyahu is what, Polish or some shit. So you know what I mean. They're not Semitic. They're not from that land. But I guess that doesn't mean anything to anybody, right? So whatever. Um, but yeah, so it's funny to watch Trump go out of his way. You know what I mean? Because we're not involved, but we're involved because we're helping them. Because their missile defense is failing, so we're there as missile defense, basically. All right. So it's funny to watch Trump try to come up with excuses because the pressure is on. You know, BB is putting that pressure on Trump to jump in this war. Israel is really putting pressure on us to help them out because they done bit off more than they can chew. And they already knew they was doing that, but they just assumed that we would do what we always do. So they're putting pressure on Trump to do what we always do. What we always do is jump in and fight their battles for them. All right? Because nobody benefits from any of these wars besides them. We don't benefit from it. Our soldiers don't benefit from it. The family of the dead don't benefit from it. We don't benefit from it in any way. All right? There's no. What's the benefit from Afghanistan, from Iraq? What's the benefit from Syria and Yemen? What's the benefit? How does that benefit us here in America? We know how it benefits Israel, right? They gain more territory. Um, they get more money. They get more weapons. They pretty much get whatever they want from us. Oh, and they gain more control, right? Because they own most of our politicians, Congress, Senate, President, whatever, right? They come over here and they train our police force. You see how that's working out. Police are just blasting on people every day of the week. So many police shootings, you can't even cover them all, right? Well, you can, but it's best to bury them. Best to bury them. We don't want the public to know that our police force is just blasting people every fucking day down there, right? You know, unless we can make it political or racial or something like that, and we can use it in our benefit to keep people arguing on Twitter. You know what I mean? But other than that, no. All right. But yeah, it's funny. Trump. So he can't plead or say he doesn't know what's happening because when he was running, he knew all about what was happening. He knew there was no weapons of mass destruction, right? The lie Bush told to get us in Iraq, you know, which is crazy because Saudis supposedly hijacked the planes and flew them into the Twin Towers, but all of a sudden we ended up in Afghanistan instead. Dancing Israelis, more like a demolition. You know what I mean? But you know, Saudis to Afghanis to Iraqis. I mean, to Israelis. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So it's funny because two of those groups are not Semitic. You figure that out. But yeah, so Trump is like, we will not get involved, but if you do this, which is funny because we're not involved, but we're involved because we're in the way, right? Um, it's like two people fist fighting, right? And then you're gonna stand in the middle and be like, don't hit me. Long as you don't hit me, long as you don't hit me, we won't have a problem. But you're in the way. It's like you're trying to get hit so you can have a reason to get involved. And that's basically what we're doing, right? But I don't think it would work well for us because I don't believe that Israel has what it has been doing over the last, I was going to say 2 years, but the last, you know what I mean? I don't think they're in good standing with the rest of the world, right? I don't think they're in good standing with China or Russia or North Korea, or anybody that with any military might. I mean, besides us, but we're the reason that they're still a country, all right? Even though, according to Netanyahu, they're just a little devil, and we're the big devil in the Middle East. All right. It's crazy. It's funny to me that people still find ways to justify all of this bullshit. You know what I mean? So people are looking for excuses to be involved because, if you don't get involved, I guess that's anti-Semitism. If we don't get involved, then, the Jews will be in peril. You know what I mean? But that's not the case. And from the looks of it, all Jews don't agree with what's going on. But I guess it's just like with anybody else. You always refer to, you know, everybody as a collective. I guess this is what we do. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, man, Trump is moving. Like I said, he's not trumping. Like I said, just waiting for him to drop his nuts. You say you didn't know. Benjamin said that you did. He said he wouldn't have did it without, you know, basically, getting your blessing. Is he lying? And if he's lying, why do you know what I mean? Yeah, man, Trump's acting like a bitch right now. You know what I mean? I never thought he was, all that big talk, man. Time to walk that shit. Yeah, time to walk the talk, boy. Time to walk the motherfucker talk. You understand? Time to put your big boy shoes on, nigga, your big boy pants and start stomping, nigga. Time to drop your nuts, nigga. Nigga tell them no. You started it, you finish it. Whatever happens, happens. We don't have nothing to do with it. Let's ain't be it like that. Only Kennedy had them balls. You see what happened to him. So I understand why they tucking. A lot of them tucking. I mean, a lot of them made a lot of money. That's why another reason why we shouldn't have lifelong politicians. They should have term limits because they collecting so much money from APAC that they don't even know what they're a part of anymore. They don't even know that they're American citizens. Shit. Made me think that most of them got dual citizenship. Shit, I don't know. Maybe they converted to Judaism and are secret Zionists. Well, they're not secret Zionists. Most of these Zionists are out in the open. You know what I mean? It's like that guy every time somebody brings up what happens to Kennedy, he's like, who cares? You know what I mean? Fucking guys. That fucking guy. It's fucking crazy, man. That they keep trying to get us involved. I mean, our media. I'm watching our media trying to get us involved. Shit crazy, man. They want us to die for a foreign country. Again.